You wake up, move through the day, but feel unseen, like a ghost in your own story. This video reveals why you feel lost, forgotten, and invisible, and how to reclaim your fire. Step inside the haunting truth and discover the path back to yourself. Chapter 1: The Hollow Echo. You wake up and the room feels heavy. The air is familiar, yet strangely distant, as if you are walking through someone else's memory. You move through the motions: coffee, clothes, commute, but each step feels hollow. People pass by, voices rise and fall, but none of them seem to notice you. You are present, yet invisible. This is the ghost life. It is not death, but something quieter, more unsettling. It is the slow fading of identity, the forgetting of who you are. You drift through the day like a shadow, repeating patterns without remembering why they matter. The world continues, but you feel detached, as though you are watching it from behind glass. The ghost life begins subtly. At first, it's just a moment of disconnection, forgetting what you wanted, losing interest in what once lit your soul. Then it grows. You stop hearing your own voice. You stop recognizing your reflection. The mirror shows a face, but it doesn't feel like yours. Imagine walking through a crowded street. Everyone is rushing, laughing, shouting, living. You are there too, but no one meets your eyes. You are unseen, unnoticed, forgotten. The silence is not around you, it is inside you. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Yet in the ghost life, that privilege slips away. You forget the path, the fire, the essence. You become a shadow of yourself, wandering without direction. The hollow echo is not just about being ignored by others. It is about ignoring yourself. You stop asking questions. You stop listening to your own heartbeat. You silence the inner voice that once guided you. And in that silence, you begin to vanish. The ghost life is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is quiet, almost polite. It lets you go through the motions so no one suspects. You smile when expected, nod when required, and keep moving. But inside, you are fading. There is a lantern in your hand, though you may not see it. It glows faintly, waiting to be lifted. But in the hollow echo, you forget it exists. You walk in darkness, unaware that light is near. The haunting question rises: what happens when you forget who you are? The answer is not simple. You become invisible, not to the world, but to yourself. You lose the thread that ties you to meaning. You drift, and the drifting feels endless. This chapter is the silence before the storm. It is the recognition of emptiness, the moment you realize you are living but not alive. It is the hollow echo that whispers, "You are here, but you are gone." And yet, even in this emptiness, there is a strange pull. You sense that something is missing. You feel the weight of absence. That weight is the beginning of awakening. If you've ever felt unseen, if you've ever wondered why life feels like a routine without soul, you are not alone. Many walk through this ghost life, unaware of the lantern they carry. The hollow echo is the first step in recognizing it. Before we move deeper, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do you feel present in your own story, or are you drifting like a shadow? This question is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to awaken you. And if this resonates with you, if you've felt the ghost life pressing against your chest, then stay with me. We are about to uncover the fragments that lead back to fire. But before we continue, let me ask you to subscribe to this channel, not just as a gesture, but as a commitment to yourself. Each chapter we explore is a step toward remembering who you are. By subscribing, you ensure you don't miss the journey back to your soul. The hollow echo is only the beginning. The silence will break. The fragments will appear, and the ghost will begin to remember. Chapter 2: Fragments of the Forgotten. The silence of the ghost life does not last forever. Even in the deepest emptiness, fragments begin to appear. They arrive without warning, small sparks, half-remembered images, echoes of laughter, the sudden weight of a memory. At first, they feel like interruptions, breaking through the hollow routine. But slowly, they reveal themselves as pieces of something larger, the forgotten self. You notice it in the smallest ways. A song plays, and for a moment your chest tightens. You remember a time when that melody meant something. A scent drifts past, and suddenly you are standing in a childhood room, surrounded by colors you thought you had lost. These fragments are not accidents. They are reminders, signals from the part of you that refuses to vanish. The ghost life thrives on silence, but fragments are noise. They disrupt the invisibility. They remind you that beneath the shadow there is still a soul. You may try to ignore them, to push them aside, but they return. They return because they are yours. Masks begin to crack. The face you show the world, the polite smile, the practiced nod, all of it starts to feel heavy. You sense the fatigue of performance. You realize that the mask is not protecting you, it is suffocating you. And in the cracks, raw emotion leaks through. Anger, sadness, joy feelings you thought were gone suddenly surge back. Chains loosen. The routines that held you in place begin to feel fragile. You question why you follow them, why you repeat them. You wonder if they are truly yours or if they were given to you by others. The ghost life depends on chains, but fragments weaken them. Each memory, each emotion, each spark of authenticity is a link breaking apart. There is a child in the distance. Not a literal child, but a symbol. A solitary figure, unnoticed, holding something glowing. This child is the part of you that never stopped waiting. It is innocence, authenticity, the raw truth of who you are. You may have ignored it, but it has not disappeared. It waits with patience, holding the key. Cosmic signs appear. A star flickers in the night sky, brighter than the rest. A feather drifts across your path, glowing faintly. These are not coincidences. They are symbols of rebirth, of the phoenix rising. They remind you that even in ashes, fire waits. The fragments are confusing. They do not form a clear picture. They arrive scattered, broken, incomplete, but they carry weight. Each one is a piece of identity, a reminder that you are not gone. You are lost, yes, but not erased. The ghost begins to realize invisibility is not death, it is forgetting, and forgetting can be undone. You begin to collect the fragments. You hold on to the laughter, the scent, the cracked mask, the loosened chain. You gather them like pieces of a puzzle. The picture is not complete, but it begins to take shape. You see outlines of yourself, faint but undeniable. The haunting shifts. It is no longer silence, it is tension. You feel the pull between shadow and fire. You are still drifting, but now you sense direction. You are not just a ghost, you are a ghost searching. The fragments demand attention. They whisper, remember. They push against the hollow echo, insisting that you look closer. They remind you that the lantern is still in your hand, glowing faintly, waiting to be lifted. This chapter is the breaking point. It is the moment when invisibility begins to fracture. It is the realization that you are not empty, you are hidden. And what is hidden can be revealed. The ghost life is fragile. It depends on forgetting. But fragments are stronger. They carry the weight of truth. They carry the fire of identity. And once they appear, they cannot be silenced. You may resist. You may fear what they reveal. But the fragments are patient. They will return again and again until you listen. The forgotten self is not gone. It is waiting in pieces, scattered across memory, emotion, and symbol. It is waiting for you to gather it, to remember, to reclaim. The ghost begins to understand the haunting is not punishment. It is a call to return, to awaken, to become. Fragments of the forgotten are the first step toward fire. They are the cracks in the mask, the loosened chains, the glowing key. They are proof that you are still here, even if you forgot. The silence is broken. The fragments are rising, and the ghost is beginning to remember. Chapter 3, The Return of Fire. The fragments have gathered. They are scattered pieces, but together they begin to form a shape. The ghost, once drifting in silence, now feels the pull of something stronger. It is not yet clarity, but it is direction. The hollow echo is fading, replaced by a rhythm that feels alive. The lantern glows brighter. You notice it now, no longer hidden in your hand. Its light flickers, fragile but persistent. You lift it, and the darkness bends. Shadows retreat, revealing paths you had forgotten. The ghost life begins to crack, and through those cracks, fire seeps in. The return of fire is not sudden. It begins with courage, the courage to look at yourself without the mask. You see the cracks, the chains, the fragments, and you do not turn away. You face them, and in that facing you ignite. The fire is memory. It is the laughter you thought was gone, the dreams you buried, the voice you silenced. It is the child holding the glowing key, now stepping closer, offering it to you. You take it, and the lock inside you begins to open. The ghost life depended on forgetting. Fire depends on remembering. Each fragment you gather fuels the flame. Each memory, each truth, each spark of authenticity becomes wood for the fire. The more you remember, the brighter it burns. You begin to feel weight again, not the heavy emptiness of invisibility, but the grounding weight of presence. You are here. You are alive. You are not drifting anymore. The fire anchors you. The shattered clock lies at your feet. Time no longer binds you. You realize that the ghost life was a prison of repetition, a cycle of forgetting. But fire breaks cycles. Fire creates. Fire transforms. You are no longer trapped in endless routine. You are free to move, free to choose, free to become. The phoenix rises. You see it in your mind's eye, wings of flame, ashes falling away, rebirth unfolding. It is not just a symbol, it is you. You are rising from the ashes of invisibility, reclaiming the fire that was always yours. The return of fire is not quiet. It roars. It fills the hollow spaces with light and sound. It burns away the silence, the emptiness, the shadow. It demands that you live, not drift. It demands that you remember, not forget. You step forward. The crowd that once ignored you now turns. They see you, not because you forced them, but because you see yourself. Visibility begins with self-recognition. When you lift the lantern, when you carry the fire, the world cannot help but notice. The ghost life dissolves. It was never permanent. It was a state of forgetting, a shadow of identity. But fire is permanent. Fire is truth. Fire is the essence of who you are. You begin to speak. Your voice, once silenced, rises. It is not loud, but it is clear. Each word carries weight. Each word carries fire. You speak, and the world listens. The return of fire is not just about memory. It is about creation. You begin to build again dreams, connections, meaning. You shape your life with flame, burning away what no longer serves you, illuminating what does. The lantern is no longer faint, it blazes. You carry it high, and the path ahead glows. You see where you are going. You see who you are becoming. The ghost life whispers one last time, trying to pull you back into silence, but the fire answers louder. The fire says, "You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are alive. You walk forward, leaving ashes behind." The fragments are no longer scattered. They are whole. The mask is gone. The chains are broken. The child has stepped into the light. You are complete. The return of fire is transformation. It is the moment when invisibility ends, when forgetting ends, when ghost life ends. It is the moment when you remember who you are. And in that remembering, you rise. The haunting is over. The silence is gone. The fire burns, and you are reborn.